Hey guys, I'm back. This is Katie. Hopefully you know me by now. If not, I'm Katie Allen. I'm a holistic health and life coach, and I'm here to talk to you about being healthy, about loving yourself, about embracing your body. And more specifically, this month, September, this is Self-Care September, right? So this month we are talking about all things self-care. We're going to look at it from as many different angles as we can, and I'm really going to get you guys going on this. And today I want to talk about something that's super important. It's come up in so many conversations, in comments, and that really specifically is why self-care isn't selfish. So many people, especially women, but not only women, so many people have such a hard time with self-care. All right, there's a lot of feelings of guilt. There's, I'm taking away from somebody. I'm not doing my family service. It's not fair to my kids. There's guilt, there's shame, there's all sorts of things that surround self-care. And I really want to just kick that out, get rid of that. I want to start just by telling you guys a little story. So when I was a kid, my mom was not into self-care. It could have just been the time. It could have been different terms that were used at the time. But I mean, really, if we look at self-care as something that is really nourishing and yummy and that feeds you physically, mentally, emotionally, my mom really didn't do that. She didn't have that outlet. My mom existed solely to be a parent, solely to be a mother. And then when my parents split, it really became that she was just there to make sure that my sister and I were okay. But she never really invested in herself. She never really took care of herself. And that didn't work so well. She was quite unhealthy. She was quite unhappy. She was in therapy for a long time. And it really didn't serve her. And honestly, as her daughter, it didn't serve me either. And I did not, as a child, have a really good example of how to take care of myself. What I saw was that women should sacrifice themselves to make others happy. And as an adult now, I know that that's not right. I know that that doesn't serve others. But at the time, as a child, as a teenage girl, that was the lesson that I was learning. I would like to show you the other side just by giving you an example. I have a good friend who is a mother. She has a few kids, various ages, some teenagers, some young. And one of her children was really, really sick when she was a baby. She was in the hospital a lot. She's okay now, but she was in the hospital a lot. But my friend, all through that time, her daughter was in the hospital for months at a time. All through that time, she never stopped working out. She never stopped her meditation practice. She kept eating well. She kept journaling. She kept doing all the things that she needed for herself. And a lot of people at that time were asking her, how do you do that? That's so selfish. You should be here for your daughter. But she knew in herself that if she didn't take care of herself, how was she supposed to take care of her daughter? How was she supposed to be the best possible mother and deal with this incredible amount of stress if she didn't take care of herself? She just knew. And she has set a really beautiful example for her children of how to take care of yourself and therefore be able to take care of others. And it's a really beautiful, balanced way of looking at it. And this really leads me into the first point I want to make, which is self-care really allows you to be your best. It allows you to be your best for yourself. It allows you to be your best for your family, for your partner, for your children, for your friends. It allows you to be your best in every possible way. And I mean, you've probably heard the saying before, you can't pour from an empty cup. That's true. You can't. And by essentially, running your tank until you're on empty, pushing until you burn out, that doesn't serve you, and it really doesn't serve your family. It doesn't serve your kids. So many women, like I said, so many people in general, women, especially mothers, have this huge thing of feeling guilty, like they're somehow taking away from their children, or they're somehow taking away from their partner. If they invest a little bit of time in themselves, if they invest some money, some energy, whatever that happens to be, they feel awful. It's like they're ripping their heart out. And really you shouldn't, because if you don't take care of yourself, how the hell are you going to be a parent? How are you going to show up in your relationship? You just aren't. You are not going to be a good parent. You're not going to be a good employee or business owner, entrepreneur, whatever you are, a good partner. You're just not, all right? You cannot pour from an empty cup. So if this is something that you struggle with, I have a few journaling prompts I'm going to give you at the end that are hopefully going to help you with this a little bit. And I really want to encourage you to reframe what self-care is. All right, so if you are feeling like you're guilty, if you're feeling like you shouldn't be taking this time for yourself, if you're feeling like you shouldn't really be investing in your self-care, maybe it's time for you to reframe what self-care is. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday. But essentially, what I really want to do is invite you to think of self-care. Self-care doesn't need to be big and extravagant. Self-care doesn't need to be, a vacation overseas. It doesn't need to be a $500 trip to a spa or massages every day. It doesn't, yes, that all counts as self-care, of course, but it doesn't need to be that. Self-care can be going for a walk by yourself. Self-care can be making a cup of tea and sitting down, maybe after your kids are in bed, maybe first thing in the morning, maybe on your lunch break, whatever it is, making a cup of tea or coffee or hot chocolate and sitting down in silence without your phone, without distractions, and just enjoying it and being in the moment. It can be your workout. For a lot of people, working out is self-care because it makes them feel awesome. For me, one of my big things is yoga. It makes me feel on top of the world. It makes me who I am. So really reframe what self-care is. Self-care could just be going out to the store and buying yourself a bunch of flowers so that you have a beautiful, sunny thing in your home that every time you look at it makes you smile, it makes you feel warm. That's self-care. And the last thing, and probably the biggest one, is that many people struggle with feeling worthy. Now, this goes in every area of life. All right, this isn't just in self-care, but it really shows up here a lot. And that is that you are in some way not worthy of spending the time on yourself, not worthy of spending maybe some money on yourself, not worthy of going out of your way, not worthy of prioritizing your time, not worthy of prioritizing your happiness. And that's a really big one. It's not something that I can address in one Facebook Live, but the fact is you deserve all of this. And you don't deserve it because you've done something. You don't deserve it because you lost 10 kilos or because your kid got an A+ on their test at school or because your partner tells you you do. You deserve happiness. You deserve fulfillment. You deserve to feel nourished and warm and held and comforted simply because you do. You don't have to do anything to deserve this. You deserve it simply because you exist, because you are here, and because it's a human right. It's a right that each and every human being, every living being, in my opinion, on this planet has. And we are constantly told that we don't have that right. You only have the right if you look this way. You only have the right to be happy if somebody else tells you. You only have the right to be happy if you buy this designer bag and then you'll be happy. Bullshit. You have the right simply because you exist. All right? I know that can be a really big thing for some people, but I just really want to introduce that idea to you that you have the right. You are worthy. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of happiness. You are worthy of taking care of yourself. So I have a couple of journal prompts that I really want to, if this is something you struggle with, I really want to invite you to do this. And if, I'm sure there's some of you out there who are saying, I hate journaling isn't my thing, then do this, all right? Grab your phone, pretty much everybody has a phone or a laptop with a camera on it, turn it on yourself and record yourself and speak, ask these questions and say it out loud and record it and speak into the camera, and then you can look back. It's like a visual diary instead of a written diary, all right? It's the same thing, just a different medium. So there's a couple of questions. Of course, you can expand on this. This is really just a start. I have my little scrap paper here. And Some of these you might have an obvious answer for, but if you struggle with self-care, if you struggle with prioritizing it, actually ask it. Don't just kind of blow it off, all right? So number one is, does my family, do my friends, do my children, does my work deserve me at my best? Do they deserve it? Do my kids deserve the best mother? Does my partner deserve the best spouse? Does my employer or my business deserve the best employee or the best worker, the best boss? Do my friends deserve the best friend? Do I deserve the best? You know, do I deserve to be at my best? Do I deserve to be happy? That's a big question, all right? And if your answer is yes, then amazing, dig into that. If you ask that question, do I deserve to be at my best? Do I deserve to be happy? Do I deserve to be cared for? If you ask that and deep down your answer is no, then ask why. And you'll probably get a little short answer, and ask why again, and ask why again, and why, and why, and why, and dig into that, all right? That's a juicy question. It might be a simple question, but it is a juicy question. Dive into that. And then the last one, which is similar, really is, am I worth it? Am I worth the energy? Am I worth the time? Am I worth the effort that it will take to implement self-care? Am I worth it as a human being? Do I deserve it? And again, if your answer in your core, in your gut is yes, I deserve it, then awesome. Let's start doing this. If your answer is no, I don't deserve this. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of happiness. I'm not worth the time. I'm not worth the energy. And again, you're going to dig into that. Why? Why aren't you worth it? What makes you so uniquely broken? What makes you so uniquely wrong that you do not deserve happiness? That you don't deserve this time? And again, that may seem like it's only a few words. It's a simple question. That is a deep question. All right. These things, these are not simple. This is not a simple question. This is not a simple, it seems simple on the surface. Oh, just implement some self-care. It's not. And I really recognize that. I really, really do. So if this is something that you struggle with, if implementing self-care comes with feelings of guilt or shame, or you feel like you're somehow shortchanging somebody, taking away from them, ask these questions, all right? Because the sooner you ask, the sooner you take the time to just think about this, dig into this. Life is short, all right? We only get to do this once. You only have so many trips around the sun, and you never know when your time is up. And you deserve to have the best, most beautiful, vibrant life you can possibly live. And taking care of yourself, self-care, is a really integral part of that. Okay, so I really encourage you, ask yourself these questions. Keep on tuning in for the rest of Self-Care September. In this group, under the files section, there is a free printable calendar for September with a whole bunch of suggested activities that you can participate in. Most of them are free. A couple of them cost a bit of money. But if you are struggling with self-care and really looking to just start somewhere, I encourage you, print that off. Start with that. Ask yourself these questions. And I will be talking to you guys tomorrow and throughout the rest of this month all about different aspects of self-care. If you have questions, if you have concerns, please send me a message, comment, and I will get back to you. I would love to hear from you. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye guys.